Welcome back, treasure hunters and mystery lovers. Tonight, we're delving into a tale that's haunted the hills of Virginia for 2 centuries. A story of hidden riches, unbreakable codes, and a vanished man who left behind a puzzle that's baffled experts for generations. This is the legend of the Beale Ciphers and the $65 million treasure they're said to protect. Imagine, if you will, a locked iron box. Inside, 3 pages of seemingly random numbers. But these aren't just any numbers. They're the key to one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries, a cipher so complex it's resisted the efforts of codebreakers for over 140 years. And somewhere out there, if the stories are true, lies a fortune in gold, silver, and jewels, just waiting to be found. Our story begins in the winter of 1820 in a small hotel in Lynchburg, Virginia. A tall, handsome stranger checks in, captivating the locals with tales of adventure from the wild frontier. His name? Thomas J. Beale. But Beale wasn't just any traveler. He was a man with a secret, one that would spawn countless treasure hunts and become an enduring legend in American folklore. According to the tale, Beale had just returned from a remarkable expedition. He and 30 companions had set out on a buffalo hunt in the territories, north of Santa Fe. But their journey took an unexpected turn when they stumbled upon something far more valuable than game. Hidden in the rugged landscape, they discovered a mine brimming with gold and silver. For a year and a half, Beale and his men worked in secret, extracting a fortune from the earth. But their newfound wealth brought a new problem: how to keep it safe in such dangerous territory. The solution? Beale would transport the treasure back east and bury it in a secure location. Over several clandestine trips, Beale allegedly buried thousands of pounds of precious metals in what he called an excavation or vault somewhere in Bedford County, Virginia. But a nagging fear plagued him. What if none of the men survived to claim their share? How would their families ever know about their inheritance? This concern brought Beale back to that Virginia hotel in 1822. He approached the innkeeper, a man named Robert Morris, with an unusual request. Beale handed Morris a locked iron box, explaining that it contained papers of utmost importance. The instructions were clear: keep the box safe for 10 years. If Beale hadn't returned by then, a key to decipher its contents would arrive from St. Louis. With that cryptic message delivered, Thomas J. Beale rode off into the mists of history, never to be seen again. A decade passed, then 2. Beale never returned, and the promised key from St. Louis never arrived. Finally, in 1845, after 23 years of patient waiting, Robert Morris's curiosity got the better of him. He broke open the lock on the mysterious box. Inside, he found no map, no clear directions. Instead, he discovered pages filled with thousands of seemingly random numbers. Accompanying these cryptic sheets were 2 letters from Beale, explaining the treasure expedition and confirming that the numbered pages were, in fact, 3 separate ciphers. According to Beale's letters, the first cipher described the exact location of the vault. The second contained a complete inventory of the buried treasure. And the third listed the names of the 30 men who held a share in the fortune. For the next 20 years, Morris dedicated himself to cracking the code. But he was an innkeeper, not a cryptographer. As he grew older, fearing the secret would die with him, he passed the box and its contents to a trusted friend. This friend, whose identity remains a mystery to this day, made the breakthrough that would cement the Beale ciphers in the annals of cryptographic history. He guessed that the pages might be a book cipher where each number corresponds to a word in a specific text. The challenge? Finding the right book. After countless attempts with various texts, he stumbled upon the key to the second cipher. It wasn't some obscure volume, but one of the most famous documents in American history, the Declaration of Independence. Painstakingly, he began to decode. Each number in the cipher corresponded to a word in the Declaration. He'd take the first letter of that word, slowly building words and sentences. And what emerged was electrifying. The decrypted message began, "I have deposited in the county of Bedford, about 4 miles from Beaufort's, in an excavation or vault, 6 feet below the surface of the ground, ... It went on to describe, in stunning detail, the contents of the buried treasure: 2,921 pounds of gold, 5,100 pounds of silver, and jewels worth $13,000 in 1820s money. In today's terms, we're talking about a fortune worth between $50 and $65 million. The successful decoding of one cipher lent enormous credibility to the entire story. But it also created an even greater sense of frustration. Now, the world knew what was buried, but not where. The message even ended with a tantalizing clue. Paper number 1 describes the exact locality of the vault so that no difficulty will be had in finding it. Excited by his breakthrough, the anonymous friend immediately applied the Declaration of Independence to the other 2 ciphers, but he got nothing. Just nonsensical strings of letters. The key for the location and the list of heirs had to be something else. After years of effort, he admitted defeat. In 1885, the story of the Beale ciphers was published in a pamphlet, hoping that by making it public, someone, somewhere, could finally solve the puzzle. And with that, one of the greatest treasure hunts in American history was born. For over a century now, generations of codebreakers have thrown their intellect at the remaining ciphers. Amateur sleuths, professional cryptographers, even rumors of the FBI and NSA taking a crack at it. All without success. Meanwhile, treasure hunters armed with shovels and metal detectors have descended on Bedford County, digging up fields and farmlands, often illegally, in their desperate search for Beale's vault. To this day, not a single gold coin has been found. This complete lack of success has led many to a powerful counter-theory. What if the entire story is an elaborate hoax? Skeptics argue there's no definitive historical evidence that Thomas J. Beale ever existed. The only source for the entire tale is that 1885 pamphlet published by a man named James B. Ward. Some linguistic analysts even claim the language in Beale's letters contains words and phrases that weren't in common use in the 1820s, suggesting it was written much later. The prevailing theory among doubters is that Ward himself fabricated the tale simply to sell pamphlets for 50 cents apiece, yet the argument for its authenticity remains compelling. Why create such a complex and mathematically sound cipher, one that has stumped experts for over 140 years, just for a cheap pamphlet? The fact that Cipher 2 was so neatly solved with the Declaration of Independence gives many believers hope. They argue that the remaining ciphers are genuine, solvable puzzles. The problem isn't the code. It's that no one has found the right key. So, the Beale ciphers stand as one of history's greatest cryptographic challenges, a puzzle that has endured for nearly 2 centuries. Is it an elaborate 19th century hoax? Or is there truly a massive fortune waiting for the one person clever enough to unlock its secret? What do you think? Is the treasure real? And what document could possibly be the key? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoy diving into historical mysteries like this one, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more unsolved stories. For now, the treasure of Thomas Beale remains protected by its silent, numerical guards. The allure isn't just about the gold and silver. It's about the irresistible challenge of the unknown. And it leaves us with the tantalizing question, will the code ever be broken? And speaking of unbroken codes, in our next episode, we'll uncover another cipher that's been baffling experts for decades, the CIA's Cryptos sculpture. It's a story of espionage, art, and a puzzle hidden in plain sight at the heart of America's intelligence community. You won't want to miss it. Until then, keep searching for answers, and remember, sometimes the greatest treasures are the mysteries themselves.